Hi, fourth graders. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. I'm here to teach you your reading skill of the week. Our focus this week is going to be on main idea and detail. So by the end of this, I want you to be able to define what those words mean and also to be able to identify them when I give you a passage to read. You will have an assignment this week where you're going to need to identify the main idea and detail. So, you all have probably heard those words before because we have talked about them in writing, actually. When I find the main idea or write the main idea, it's what the text is mostly about or the most important thing in that text. Then, once I have that, we usually add details or read more details about it. The details are the pieces of information that support that main idea, like examples and more information about that topic. One example of main idea and details may have been from those penguin books that you read for an assignment last week. On one of the pages, the main idea might have all been about what penguins eat or where penguins live. And then the rest of that information on the page, like the pictures and the words and any other text features you may have seen, were all details to support that main idea. We're going to take a few notes over main idea and do an example together so that you can really know what those words mean and be able to identify main idea and detail in your own passage. What I need for you to do right now is you can pause your video if you need to and find your vocabulary and skill book or a piece of paper. The page that you're looking for looks like this. This is our organizer for main idea and detail. All right, at the top of your page, go ahead and write our skill, main idea and detail. When you do your boxes, make sure that you've drawn them big enough so you can write almost a sentence in each. And when you look at this, we have to think, remember the main idea is like the big picture. What do we really want the whole thing? What do we know the whole thing is about? And the details are the smaller things like the examples and pictures and support that is given to the main idea. So in this case, our main idea is going to be down here. And these are going to be our details. I'm just going to number them number 1, number 2, and number 3. These are kind of going to be the pieces that we put together. So we need to find at least 3 things in the passage we're going to read that could help us to identify the main idea. Remember, they're always tied together. So these are always supporting or giving more information about the main idea. You can pause if you need to, and I'll get our passage ready. All right, one thing I want you to notice before we even read our passage is that it doesn't have a title or a heading. So anytime we come across a passage or text or paragraph that doesn't have a title or heading, the main idea is most likely what would make a good title or heading. And sometimes instead of asking you on a test what the main idea is, a test might ask you something like, what would make a good heading for this section? What they're really asking you is, what is this all about, or what is the main idea? So you can think of it that way too. I'm going to go ahead and read aloud. You can follow along as I read. And think about what are some details that are coming up in this passage that might give you an idea of what the whole thing is about. Thunderstorms are dangerous. Every thunderstorm contains lightning, and lightning kills more people each year than tornadoes or hurricanes. Do you know what to do to remain safe during a thunderstorm? First, go inside a sturdy building or a vehicle and close the windows. Furthermore, the National Weather Service recommends that you stay inside for at least 30 minutes after the last rumble of thunder is heard. Do not use telephones or electrical equipment. Avoid taking showers or baths. If you are unable to get safely inside a building, avoid taking cover beneath tall, isolated trees. Also, avoid water, high ground, and metal objects. Knowing what to do and what not to do during a thunderstorm could save your life. All right, let's take a look back into this passage and see if we can find some details and a main idea that maybe we could use for this whole paragraph. So when I go back, I usually think, what are some things that I learned or remember from reading? And what's some detail that I could use that maybe could lead me to the main idea? So one thing, just right in that first sentence, is that I know that thunderstorms are dangerous. Another thing I remember, it said something about trees. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to skim my paragraph and see if I can find something about trees. It said if I can't go inside, I need to go under a tree. Now it also said that it would be best to go inside, even if I'm hearing some thunder. It says I need to stay inside for 30 minutes after the last rumble of thunder. It also said that lightning kills more people each year. That's not something that I knew before. That's something I learned. I also realized this is an important passage because it says that if I know these things, it could save my life. That seems kind of important to me there. Now, if I look at everything that I underlined, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I underlined more than 3 things. But what I'm going to do is pick out the ones that I think the whole passage was about. Let's take these details together and see if we can come up with a main idea. So one of the things I remembered reading about was that thunderstorms are dangerous. Now there were a lot of sentences in that paragraph, so technically all our 3 details wouldn't have to be exactly the same because we could have picked out different details from this and still get a similar main idea. Another thing that I noticed, it told me ways to say safe, like staying inside. Even after a storm, they said for 30 minutes that I should stay inside in order to stay safe. It also told me to not take a bath or shower and stay close to trees if I have to be outside. So outside under trees is safer. Now I need to start thinking about each of these pieces and see how they're tied together to a main idea. So I know that thunderstorms are dangerous. I know it's important that I need to stay inside after a storm to stay safe. And if I'm outside, I need to stay under a tree to stay safe. So what do you think the main idea could be? One thing that a lot of time I hear 4th graders say is something like this. Thunderstorms. Now, you're not wrong, but that's only part of this main idea. I didn't learn everything about thunderstorms in this paragraph. The focus was on something else about thunderstorms. Do you know what it was? It was staying safe during thunderstorms. Everything that I read about in that paragraph helped me to stay safe. It told me that thunderstorms are dangerous, that they kill people more than hurricanes, that I need to be safe during them, and knowing how to stay safe could keep me alive. If I go back through each of those sentences, almost everyone will give me some information about staying safe. So as a fourth grader, remember when you find the main idea that it's going to need to be more specific. My topic was kind of thunderstorms, but the main focus was how to stay safe during them. All right, one more thing I want you to know as fourth graders is that when you do reading that's more than just one paragraph, like this example here, you're going to have more than one main idea possibly that falls under the same topic. For example, you read a book about penguins, but maybe each page told you a different main idea about penguins. So I do want you to be aware that as a fourth grader, you're going to dig a little deeper into main idea because you're going to have multiple main ideas in maybe a book, but each page might have its own. That's why we learned about text features and headings, because they can help you with main idea and details. Don't forget what main idea and details mean. That is defining it. Main idea is the big picture of everything in that section, and the details are all the little pieces of information that help me understand it. Don't forget that in your assignments this week, you're going to have to identify your own main idea and detail. We love to see your work, so you can email or send messages to any of your fourth grade teachers to help you out or show us your completed work. I hope you have a great week.